which was at odds with his posh knee-length jacket, waistcoat, and slacks, the markings of high society in the decade he'd passed. I wasn't positive on the coloring of his clothes because Hildy wasn't exactly solid, but I could tell he had light hair and eyes, wore a cravat with a paisley pattern, and sometimes held a walking stick and a top hat, even though he didn't have either right now. He appeared to be in his late 30s with a sharp knife blade of a nose and square jaw. Typically, I'd be trying not to laugh, but half a cup of coffee was a losing battle against my tired body. I was in no mood. I was all in favor of crawling right back into my bed and waking up at the super reasonable hour of 7, maybe even 8. I'd spent the last 3 weeks solving a trio of homicides and was just about done with the people in this town killing each other for a good long while. Those 3 weeks should have been 1, but like I'd said, the dead never wanted to cooperate. "We've got a case, Dee. You're going to have to get dressed." My gaze reluctantly moved from Hildy to Jay. Jay was dressed in a suit like every other time we'd been called in at the ass crack of dawn. He, too, was sipping coffee, but he didn't look happy about it. No, Jay's gray face said that coffee would be coming back up sometime in the near future. Damn it. If people could stop killing each other for about 3 days, that would be gravy. Heaving a sigh, I shuffled back to my bedroom and called over my shoulder for him to make me some more coffee. It was a 50-50 shot whether or not he'd do it. Jay could be a contrary bitch sometimes. It didn't take me too long to handle my business, brush my teeth, and put on my suit pants and tank. The only real trouble was what to do with my hair. Thick, wavy, and a middle-of-the-road blonde, it defied the laws of physics, gravity, and nature. Doing the best I could, I shoved it into a haphazard bun and called it good. I didn't bother with makeup, even though I probably needed it. I knew without looking in the mirror that I had bags under my eyes big enough to drive a truck through. But I also knew without a doubt at some point in the day I was going to start crying, almost vomit, actually vomit, or all of the above. Makeup was a waste of time. By rote, I strapped on my vest, slid my service weapon into the Kydex spine holster, and slipped a blessed rosary around my neck. My rosary wasn't there for religious purposes, at least not on my part. I wasn't particularly religious, to be honest. Did I think there was an afterlife? Yes. Did I subscribe to any one way to get there? Not so much, no. But the prayer beads had been blessed by a priest and had stopped particularly nasty specters from causing bodily harm on more than one occasion. Pissed-off ghosts were not my favorite, and poltergeists were the freaking worst. Tucking the rosary under my vest, I shrugged on my blouse and jacket, stuffed my feet into low-heeled leather boots, and hit the road. And by road, I meant my living room, following the smell of freshly brewed coffee. Jay was the bestest friend a girl could have. If I were even a little interested, or if his preference swung anywhere near my gender, we'd have been the perfect couple. Sadly, neither of those things were ever going to happen, much to his mother's dismay. I slugged down a healthy gulp of steaming coffee and sighed with blissful glee as the caffeine hit my system. Only then did I really focus on Jay. He was pale-faced and pinched. Neither of those were his norm. Jeremiah Cooper was a golden boy if Haunted Peak, Tennessee ever had one. Dark-haired and tan-skinned with the palest of blue eyes, Jay was a football star and straight-A student in high school. Graduated with honors right next to me at the University of Tennessee and was a well-respected member of the community, even if he was BFFs with the town weirdo. Jay hadn't been pale-faced and pinched a day in his life. I've consumed enough caffeine to not rip your head off. Spill it. My delivery could have used a little work, but I'd checked the time on my phone.